Yeah, how you doing, Ralfy? Ralfy Customs. Back on with Deck's big fat bike. Part 6. Okay, so we've come to mock up the swing arm. This is first thing, 12 o'clock in the morning on a Friday, and I've got things to do later, so I can't stop till late. Hold on. Good slug of coffee. I've not got a bit of all thread long enough to put it in the fucking jiggeroo-marooner. If you follow me, you'll see I've made this upright, remade this upright. I ain't got any fucking 12mm all thread, 12mm thready rod. No, I'm fucking what? I'm scratching around for it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut a piece of 12mm fucking bar. Yeah, just this black bar. I'm going to clean up the ends a couple of inch and a half. Just give them a light skim to round them up a bit, and then I'm going to cut a thread in the end of them, and that'll give me a purpose-made bit of kit that I can use time and time again. And of course, me being me, I'm actually set up to cut the thread in the end of the swing arm spindle. If you follow my vlog, there's some muck on it. If you follow my vlog, you'll see that I thought I had to use a die because the thread was a pitch that I couldn't do. Well, it's not. I've got the old end here, and I've cleaned it up properly. Well, properly enough to check, and it is definitely. I don't know if you can see that, if it'll pick up for you, but it's absolutely 1.5mm thread, which I can cut on it. It's fine, absolutely fine. I'm all geared up to do that, but I'm having to digress and switch things out a bit to do this fucking clamp, this threaded spindle, jig spindle, really, you know. So that'll go out the way for now, and change the tools as well. And all I'm going to do is grab hold of that. There's a fucking definite seam to this stuff, so I'll make that miss the jaws like that. Excuse me, it's cold in this one. We'll have a bit poking out. And then we'll take a threading tool out the way and put it to one side for now. Then come back with the facing tool. We'll face that up. We'll put a chamfer on it, and then we'll run in the speed tool set up as well for thread cutting. Bear with. Middle, right, should be full hammer. Yeah, it is fucking. Up a bounce there, but I reckon it'll be alright. There's a bit much poking out to face off as well. I'm not too fussed though, because it is just to get a die on it. It's all I'm looking to do, so we'll put a chamfer on this end. Like that. And then we'll get a die down. I'll get set up and run a die down it. I'll join you in a sec. Pretty shaky camera. So I'm really hoping that this works. I've had trouble with this not gripping in the tailstock. And the whole lot ends up spinning, and it's a bit of a faff. So let's see if we can't get it to do what it should. No, the whole lot's spinning. So that's not good, is it? That's not what you want. You're trying to cut a thread. If I ram it in, it still don't look properly. Oh, like to spend, so we need to do something about that. That can't be right, can it? Wow. Okay. Let me have a look. Let me have a look, see what I can come up with. Okay, so I took a skim off. I left the tool in the way. Took a skim off that, just to downsize it a bit. I put a drift through the middle of the tap and knocked the end of this shaft firmer into the thing. Firmer, because that's the fitting word. I've tried to make it seat well, and we'll see what happens. I'm just gonna... There you go, look, it's just spin. It just fucking grabs it. The only thing I can think to do is slow it down a little bit more. What we're on at the minute, 215. I can go 120. Slow mode. And then not tighten this up and fucking give it some pressure, look. Like that. There we go. It's not ideal, but it's doing it. Fucking to there. Bob's your answer. Woohoo. Have that backed out. Yeah, a bit of brute force really, and probably a light smattering of ignorance. It's proved most efficacious for doing that. I'll get the other end done and join you back at the jig. Righto, so she's live. There's fucking... So, because this rod's not exactly 12 and the holes in the jig ends, these bad boys that go into the swing arm and then take that fixing through. They go in there, look, to hold it true. They're just over 12, they're like a 12mm clearance. I didn't think there'd be a problem, but there is, and I don't want to set them out bigger. So what I've done, I've set this up in the collet chuck on my little Atlas with a live sensor this end. And if the thing will focus, I've done a test cut already, and what we're going to do is take a pass all the way down the lens, yeah? We're only taking a little skim off, and then we can move that tailstock out of the way and try one of those ends on, see if it'll fit. We're just cleaning it up a little bit. I didn't think I'd need to do it, so I didn't do it while I had it in the big lathe. And I've got no means of holding the ends properly without fucking the threads up in the big lathe. I've not got a collet chuck. This collet chuck will protect that nicely. Now, ideally, you'd have a travelling centre that bolts onto this somewhere, probably on those two holes. And that would support this rod, because as we get into the middle and the machine's spinning it away, the tool's pressing on it this way, it's going to give. It's going to move away from the tool and give us less of a cut in the middle where it's not supported. Now, a travelling centre would get rid of that problem, but I think this will still do it. We can always run a file across the middle or a bit of emery or something, you know. It's not exact tolerances, we're just looking for clearance on some holes, so I think we'll be alright. Oh, well, you see. Right, what we've got now, this is all central and square with a new handy dandy mounting bolt. It's fucking like 2 hours later, this is. Right, because what I've had to do is get that central, and I've had to get this about on height. You could probably go up a little bit, but no, fuck all, nothing in it. It's good, that needs to be central to this. Otherwise the chain will cut it in half as it's going like. And this needs to be quite close to the back of the motor, but I've not got scope to tighten that gap up, and I'm not sure I want to. I think that's all right. The issue now is the drive line, making sure the drive line clears. So I know that 11mm from this face is the outside edge of the sprocket, which is there, about there where that pen line is. Now I can put a straight edge on that, and then I can guesstimate. I can run it through, which I'm not demonstrating very well because I'm looking at what I'm doing and not the camera, so excuse me for that. I can do that, look. That's what I'm doing. And I'm estimating how true that is. And I can put a square up, that big aluminium square, against this straight edge. And I can see where it comes with the sprocket. And I can already see that it's about a 15mm gap. Right, roughly. 12, 14 maybe, 13. So we've got ½ inch, right? What I'm going to do, I'm going to space that off the spline a little bit. Just a little bit. Just pinch a little bit. 4mm, say. Yeah. 5mm, say. Then, excuse me, I'm going to move these and I'm going to shift that way and offset it by 10mm. 3/8 of an inch offset on a fucking 240 tyre. Fuck all. Big Daddy. Fuck all. When I come to do the seat rails, I do a 5mm gap, so I'll split the difference. When you got a mud guard on and everything's mounted, you're not going to fucking see. You're sure as shit not going to feel it when you're riding down the road. So I'm going to offset the back wheel 10mm to get a drive line in. Thereabouts, I'm going to do it properly and work it out properly. I'm going to offset that sprocket ever so slightly. See, the splines are actually bigger than the longer. There's more spline on that shaft than there is in that sprocket. So that gives me scope. Look, there's a bit some poking out there. Well, there's a bit you can pinch. Then you can pinch a little bit more, look, because there's plenty holding it on. We're not even on the end of the splines in the sprocket. You know, if we, I can't film that. I don't think I might be able to. If we do that, if we go so we're actually on the end of the spline in the sprocket to the end of the spline on the shaft, we've got a fucking cracking gap. Yeah, fucking gig bap. So we'll re-engineer one of these that fits in there, the right length. We might even get away with that. That might even do us. We'll do that first, then we'll run a straight edge again off the sprocket, see where it comes to our 11mm, do a bit of jiggery pokery. The important thing is that we miss with the tubing and the swing arm boss. Remember we made these? Yeah? Well, where they go, we need to make sure that the chain's not running, obviously, to the tubing that attaches them to the frame, which will be next on the agenda. So stay tuned, get on it. So, into the weekend we go. Put this cameraman down there out of the way. Fuck about, man, what a fucking game. You made that spacer. We've got the nut on, and really that nut needs Loctite in. Before it had a washer that you're never ever going to get into fucking bend over or straighten out again, so had some tablet lock washer type thing. And we have fucking struggled, this me in there, fucking so difficult to get this drivetrain running straight to the bench. It's a wiggle and jiggle and fucking tiggle inside her. What we've got to do really is use the center string. Yeah, good enough for the Romans. We know it's in the middle of the headstock. Can't not be. This chain tensioner, because this is in the way, you can't get an eye through the cam cover, middle of the cam cover. That's the middle of the engine, right? The middle of that boss is the middle of the engine. You need to center the string with that. So we did. And we measured from the front of these to a square off the front of the bench like we do. Come back, get it both sides the same. It was fucking mile out how I had it. Because I've been eyeing up with this and it's not fucking straight. There's a surprise. It's not in the middle. So I'm fucking moving and twisting and putting straight edge on and working out where it comes here and putting a square up off this side. Yeah, to measure across to where the chain will run if it's on that front sprocket, and it's fucking It's going away from me. The further down the bench we get, the nearer to the middle of the bench it gets. It's fucking right on the piss. But I sussed it. And I can honestly say that if you eye up, I'll try and do it with the camera there, look. If you look through the string, down, ignore the top tube, go to the centre there, of the cam chain tensioner, you can see the backbone is off. Half inch or so. There you go. And I'm happy to say what it's done is give us enough clearance this side for the chain, just as it is. We'll run tubes off, we'll splice into this, we'll run box sections to strengthen it. We'll have another tube off here that will go up to the top tube. Sorry for the back camera work. We'll have seat rails coming off, and then we'll have rails coming from here up to the seat tubes, and we'll have swing arm bosses down to the swing arm. Sorry, shocker bosses, shocker mounts. You'll see it all. There you go. The problem we have now is, again, one thing leads to another, is that this frame tube now comes right fucking... This was the original problem, was that the swing arm was fouling the frame. So it's been bent and bashed and fucked about with, and it has knackered the frame and the swing arm. We're not doing that. We're going to cut this here, or warm it and bend it, or take this bit completely out and reshape it coming out further. You know, we're going to do it right. What I have done, what I mentioned in the last little segment, was I've not fitted the roller bearings. I've made some solid steel slugs that take their place, so we can fit it up and get everything right without fucking setting the bearings in the swing arm, because it's not cosmetically finished, and we don't want to fuck them trying to get them out. So that's me. It's now Friday afternoon, after an eventful morning, and it's time for me to go home, shit, shower and shave, although I probably won't shave, ready for stuff I've got to do this evening. There you go. I'll join you again on Monday morning. Well, it's another Monday. Well, it's another Monday morning, and I'm exaggerating the view, but if you look at the top tube, we're fucking off. I don't mean we're leaving, I mean we're not straight. I've had all sorts. I've made that spacer, which I showed you in the last clip, and I worked out got the drivetrain straight, all nice and square, got the engine as far as I can tell, nice and square, not as far as I can tell it is. I had a right fucking faff, and it turns out that this top tube is fucking on the piss. It's like that, look. I'll try and capture the string exactly through the middle of the cam chain tensioner, halfway down the engine, and through the middle bolt at the back engine mount area where the swing arm is. You can see how far the swing arm is off. Fuck off, the top tube. This is off, bejesus. This is off, and this is in the fucking way. Look, there's a little, I'm trying to show you, there's a little, see how small that is? See how big that is? Yeah? And they need to be not equal, but that's what's making this one nice and online with it where we want it, and this one diving in towards the swing arm. So we're going to have to sort that out. We're going to have to sort this out. We're going to chop these plates off, grind these plates off. We're going to take the top tube out. We're going to put a new top tube in. There's going to be one piece, so we'll be getting rid of this, brazing, and God knows what horrors we're going to find when we chop that out, and then go from there. So there we have it, new backbone, new gusset plates. All in place, nice and central. Bob's your auntie. We're kind of back where we started a couple of hours ago. I'm going to get the seat rails in now. And then look at this bottom section with the swing arm. Hey, and now we've got the seat tubes in. Off camera, I bent a couple of pieces of inch frame tube. Yeah. And got them in, and the width on the outside of these tubes is the same as the width on the inside of these, which gives us scope for the shocker mounts. Now we can come out as far as we want, and the shocker mounts will be from this edge that way, this edge that way, and those shocker mounts are going to be bigger than this inch tube because we're going to join 1¼ inch tube into it. So this is going to come up, it's going to have a kick in it somewhere, and it's going to join this 1¼ inch boss that I'm going to turn up next for the shocker mounts. Okay peeps, so that's that rail, cut bent, fluted to go around the swing arm pivot, fluted to go around the tube, and we're going to end up plating this in, or at least this bit in, to make the mount for the for the shocker. So that's all good. Look, it's nice. What I'm on with now is I'm just putting the other end on the swing arm pivot mount thing. But what I wanted to show you was what I do to get a bit of clearance is put about 3 layers of masking tape, so 3 layers of really thin paper on the end of this boss, and then when it all goes together and gets tightened up, the swing arm won't be too pinched, and there'll just be enough room to slip it in and out and nip it up nicely. So top tip there, a little bit of masking tape, paper tape. It will burn off when it's being welded, but by then it'll all be well tacked and supported, and the job's a good one. Alright, cracking on. Put this side rail, can't do the other side just yet. So we've got the swing arm pivot welded into place with this rail, with the bend in, and it joins the smaller seat rail. We've also duplicated that rail in effect. We've got another piece of the same material with the bend that starts at the same from the end, so we've got a bit of familiarity going on. Up to the front there. What I will do is probably I'll either use box section or thick plate to fill out, to gusset this out, and probably the same here. Well, I might put a bit of tube, not sure. Bit of box, bit of tube, not sure. Bit of this thick plate, maybe. What I'm on with at the minute is I've just got this black bar and I've turned the ends down. It's like a bit of a magic wand. Now then, not a lot. Turn the ends down so it'll fit in there. Yeah. And then we can trim them off, and they'll just be finishing slugs for the end of those tubes. One each end. Unfortunately, my fucking bandsaws died. Oh, it's not died. It just, the fucking auto off's gone on my switch. The auto on. Oh, don't stay on. So I need a new switch, or put a flick switch in or something. But anyway, there you go. And now we move over to the CAD department. That's cardboard headed design. Look, we've made some templates that we've drawn around, and we're going to plasma cut them out of this thick plate, give it a dress up, and then gusset the frame with it. Righto, we've gusseted. We've moved this back. It was a bit further up, but we've rolled it out and moved it back because I want to leave plenty of room for the fuel tank. So that is one side pretty much done as far as the tube work goes. We've got the shocker mounts to make on a plate, or quite how we're going to do it. I did the little did these. Yeah, they finished that off nice. Get in there. Yeah, just refocus. There you go. So I did those. Tweak this out. Fucking going to make another insert that presses in there and goes in the tube and runs it by here and up to there. So we're cracking on. Faux show. Faux show. So, onwards and upwards. This side, tubing's in. Supports are in. And we've done these knobby rear engine mounts. Look, countersunk. To take the Allen bolts. Unfortunately, I've not got any Allen bolts long enough. I'm not providing fasteners on the job anyway, but I've not got any long enough for this side, so we'll just use normal hex head in that. Next up has got to be the shocker mounts. So let's try and work out how we're going to do that. We're on with the shocker mounts. This Deck brought these. I'm going to utilise the material and I'm going to make the bottom mounts out of these bits. There's two of these. I'm going to mill them so they drop over the swing arm so I can have a cool as fuck. I've got this set in the vise, obviously, but on a couple of parallels. I'm just hoping there's enough meat there to hold it. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut a slot out 25.5mm wide, which is the width of the swing arm box section, 10mm deep. So what I'm doing now, I'm just sweeping across the top. I've eyeballed it and I'm about there. Height-wise, but I'm just gradually lifting the table and waiting for it. There you go. So that's just touched off. Now what I'll do is zero my dial, which you can probably hear clicking away, and we're going to go 2mm. Do you reckon 80 thou? 1mm. Fuck it. Oh, sorry, bumped the camera. I'm going to go 1mm deep. I'm just going to cut a slot out in the middle. Let's see what happens. Nice and gently. This should piss it. I'll put a bit of mist on once we get going. Actually, that's fine. So there you go. And all I'll do is keep lifting up. I'll do a mil at a time, I think. There's 2mm. And the depth's not crucial. That's just down to me. So we'll keep working our way backwards and forwards until we get to 10mm deep, and then we'll open the sides out to take it to 25, and you can join me there. Okay, if you can hear me over the noise of the milling machine and the compressor that's chosen to kick in, I'm just doing a finish pass, and that takes that slot to depth and to the width that I need to drop over the swing arm. Sorry for the shaky camera. Righto. There you go. There's your focus. Fuck off. You get the picture. Yes, we see. The problem I've got now is that there's rubber's missing and different sized, and little one, big one, no one. So I'm going to have to make a temporary bushing for the four ends of the shock absorbers, and then we can look at mounting them. And here we have it. There they are. There's four of them in, pressed in. Nice and snug, and they fit the brackets are made nice and snug. Everyone will be happy. That will sit on there, that will go up there somewhere, and off we fucking go. And here we have it. There they are. There's four of them in, pressed in. Nice and snug, and they fit the brackets are made nice and snug. Everyone will be happy. That will sit on there, that will go up there somewhere, and off we fucking go. Awesome. Right, we've just put in the last of the gussets. I'm not doing it with a gas axe. Plasma cutter fucking didn't like it. It's quite thick steel that I use, so I'm using a bit of flat bar in the old saw. Boosh, that was good timing, wasn't it? And it's sturdy stuff. I'm going to do that with a chop saw now. Slitting saw. What we've got is a slight rethink on the shockers. The ones that came supplied fouled the rear master caliper. Rear master caliper sits here and it fucking no. So we've gone for some a little bit shorter, which I've used to set up these top brackets that I made, and I'm just going to support them now with some plate, and that is pretty much all of the frame fab done. Yeah, so we'll get it welded and we'll get it on its wheels once I put those gussets in, and really then it could do with all the bits and bobs mounting. Bit of preheat, ready for welding. Okay, my friends, try and get it in frame. I'm going to struggle because of where we're at, but let me show you the beast. Ow, bastard, I've just backed onto me fucking one of my Harleys. There you go. There she is on her wheels. I'm going to take a quick screen capture like that. Well, we've got struts instead of shockers, and then maybe a ½ inch long. We want it as low as possible. So I've got a bit shorter there. Front end fits and everything's held in place. Back end fits, everything's held in place. Engine fits, everything's held in place. Cheers then, thanks for coming. If you followed this series, I'll really thank you. It took a lot more than the customer deck and me first thought when we talked about doing the work on it, so I'm really grateful. All that remains is for me to thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing if you do. If you don't, please subscribe. Click the notification bell. Check out my friends in the description below. Catch you all again soon. Lots of love.